Hi, and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos, I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a 100% free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. These videos are unscripted and give you a chance to take a behind-the-scenes look at the unfiltered, methodical side of software development. For more information on AnyRPG, be sure to check out AnyRPG.org, where you can find documentation on the engine, links to the full source code at the official GitHub repository, and downloadable versions of AnyRPG Alpha, a free game designed to showcase the features of the AnyRPG engine. If you'd like to see more of this type of content in the future, be sure to like the videos, subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, or just leave a message in the comments telling me what you would like to see. In this episode, we will be continuing our work on the creation of a Unity package for export. And one of the things that I noticed that still needed to be done was last time I checked the animations with the new animation prefabs we had for the example package. Their size and shape and stuff looked a little off. So what we need to do to fix that is go to the items folder there, and the example axe and example pickaxe both need a real Euler angles script, which will show us the real Euler angles of these things so that we can save their holdable objects. And we need to do the exact same thing for our sample swords and staffs and hammers and stuff. So these all need the show real Euler angles script as well. Okay, good. Now with that done, let me just go into the resources folder here and look at the holdable objects. And these are all, yeah, that's good. They're all pointing to the example things. So we'll just need to update these in the holdable object scripts to get them to fit properly in our hands. So to do that, we're going to go into the game. Okay, and let's see. Let's go do the holdables first here. We'll go back to the normal scene there. And logging. So what we can see is that hammer looks hilariously huge. So let's go look at that. And actually I want my, what is this? This is the axe. This is easier, just search for axe. Okay. So we have our example axe here. Wow, this example axe is ridiculously huge. Right, I guess that makes sense. Of course it's ridiculously huge because because a cylinder is 1 meter by default. So let's see, that looks a little better. Right, I should be looking at the scene view of this. Hit F to focus on it in the scene view. Okay. So is that the handle? Wow, that looks it looks like that handle didn't. Yeah, it looks totally wrong. When we went in and we made this axe, that cube looked a lot different than that. Let's actually just go take a look at the example axe again. Right. Yeah. Okay, that's so weird. So I guess, we can't, this won't show in the editor. Let's see, so these are the dimensions that will hopefully keep it like where it needs to be. Let's, I guess, lock the inspector here, and we'll try something else because this looks so much different when we bring it into the game. So add a tab, inspector, and we need the example axe holdable object. Right there. So the physical scales should be 0.1, 0.5, 0.1. And the position is apparently that. Okay. So I guess we can try that. File, save. Close that inspector out. And in fact, you know what, maybe I shouldn't even close the inspector out. What I should do is I should actually probably go through and do that for all of them, because all of those items actually rely on their scale. So, example pickaxe, lock the inspector, go over to this inspector window, and go down to the holdable object for the pickaxe. It's too bad you can't just like right click and do like copy vector or something. It's like, just lets you copy them individually. So we've got that, that, and that. These positions are probably all wrong, but yeah, I mean, they're like practically zero. I don't even know why I bother with those, but let's see. Next, that was the pickaxe, so now we want to unlock that. We want to go over to the example bone shield and lock the inspector. Then go to the holdable object for the bone shield. Grab these scale values. And I think these really don't matter. I don't think. Wait. Yeah, we'll deal with the rotation stuff later. Because everything pretty, you know what? Yeah, we'll just do that. Physical rotation should be good. Okay, and then we want the bone staff. Unlock the inspector, lock the inspector, go down to the holdable object for the bone staff, change the scale values to match what's there. Change the rotation. Okay. And then unlock the inspector, go down to the next one, dragon blade, lock the inspector, look at the holdable object. For the example dragon blade, bring over the scale values. Set the rotation. Okay, and then unlock that. Go to the initiate staff, lock the inspector, grab the holdable object for the initiate staff, copy over the scale values. Make sure the rotation is set. Unlock that, go back to the weapon, look at the Rune Hammer, lock the inspector, go to the holdable object, go to the example Rune Hammer, set the scale. Let's just save that because we made changes to a bunch of prefabs. And then we'll go back to the weapons, grab the rune sword, relock the inspector, go to the holdable object for the rune sword, set the escape, Control C, copy that, and copy that. Alright, and let's see. That should be okay, so we'll close that so we don't get that weird bug when we have two inspector windows open. Then let's launch the game. Play, load game, load up our character. Go ahead back down. And start logging. Okay. We actually have to fix a bug for this to work. It's that casting bug basically. So, oops, forgot to save it. Oh well. The casting bug is when we go to set the casting animation, it's not being set. So to do that, let's go look at where that is going to be set. It's going to be logging, example logging. This is a gather ability. The casting animation clip there is not being set. So we can double click on gather ability. We don't see the casting animation clip there, so we'll go down to direct ability. Still don't see it. I'm pretty sure actually it's like way down at base ability. Yeah, okay. So we have the my casting animation clip. We're going to find all references to that, which apparently it's not even used. Okay, so we'll find all references to this because that's probably the one we're referring to there. So handle casting ability. We send in the casting animation clip. There we go. Override controller, AnyRPG magic slow casting. So let's see, what is the easiest way to do this? I think in this case, like I was thinking, is this like a setting we should put in the system configuration manager? Or, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think for now, I'm just going to do it the same way that I do with the default attack. So if we look at the animator controller here, we have an unarmed attack, which is called AnyRPG Default Attack. And I think we should maybe name this like AnyRPG Default Cast. So let's go into the animation tab on this thing. We're going to make basically a copy of this. It will be called AnyRPG Default Cast. We're just going to apply it and make that 80 to 375. Apply that. Take a look at this. All the top boxes are checked, so we'll just check all those as well. Hit apply. Hold on. That's not 80 to 110. Okay, I thought that looked a little long. There, okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, okay, good. So now we've got a default casting loop here, and we'll just go into the controller and change that to AnyRPG Default Cast. And then in our code here, we'll look for AnyRPG Default Cast. And actually, you know what? This is where we can change that. So I think for, let's see, for now, what's going to be the best way to do this? I think I am going to try to find a way to put it into the System Configuration Manager, because make a setting called animation. And I don't know, when we do the override controller thing, we have to actually put in the name of the actual spell. So I'm just wondering whether the best thing to do right here is going to be to hold a reference to the animation and then grab that animation's name dynamically, or to just have it stored like as a string value. I think I'm just going to store it as a string value for now, just to keep things simple. So UI, we will add a new section called, I don't know, animation. And we'll add two strings. One will be the default cast animation name, default attack animation name, and the other will be the default cast animation name. Otherwise, someone would actually have to go into the code to change these things. So then we'll make properties for both of those. So make a property, quick actions and refactoring, make a property, scroll down, set properties for those. Okay, and then jump back into the system configuration manager and add those values for AnyRPG default cast and AnyRPG default attack. And then we'll apply those directly to the game manager. And then we'll go back into the code here, and in our animator right here, let me just check if I have that anywhere in the project. So find that string in the entire solution. Good. This is basically the only place I have it. Okay, so if system configuration manager does not equal null, my instance. Then what we want to do is set this to system configuration manager.myInstance.myDefault cast animation name. And then I want to search my entire project for AnyRPG default attack. I think it's probably in this file too. Let's see, right here. Replaceable animation name. Okay. So we actually want to remove that. Let's just go find the references to it first, though. Okay, and it looks like we do it in two different places. So I guess what we need to do here is if system configuration manager.my instance does not equal null, then this is where the replaceable animation name needs to be updated to system configuration manager.my instance.my default attack animation name. And then we want to replace the other reference to it right here. So if system configuration manager.my instance does not equal null, so for this, like, we need this up here, definitely. But this, like, if this is ever null, this code won't really be making sense because we won't have set that as the animation clip. Although, honestly, if this is ever null, we have much bigger problems. So I guess that's fine for now. So we'll just replace that with system configuration manager.my instance.my default attack animation name. Okay, good. And then that should pretty much do it. So then we can remove that from the animator. And now all of this stuff is available in the system configuration manager. Let's go back in, check our console, make sure it compiles. Okay, I think we're good. I don't see any issues. So let's save the load game manager, and then let's go back into the game here. Load our game. Oh, that's better. Yeah, we had a different animation playing. That was like the Mickey conducting animation. Let's check the chopping wood here. Is that actually working? I haven't actually seen this animation before. Okay. That's not bad. We can move that a little bit though. So we can look at the axe here. All right, and I guess, let's see, we want to move it up so it's more like in between the hands there. This animation's like really bad, so I'm not expecting anything perfect, but it would kind of be nice to not have it like sticking through his head. How's that looking? Whoops. Okay. Let's try that again. I want to take another look at that. Okay, how are we doing here? Oh, right, of course. Whoops. Right. When I move it, I need to take note of those settings and save them, because of course it's just going to reset it to the same position every time. So this is probably the best example of where it should be. Go back into the axe. Move that like over there. Still kind of going through his head, but it's okay. This animation's really bad anyway, so I think that's okay. I got to give it a frame, I think, to catch up with the real Euler angles. Okay, and wow, that animation is really bad, but that's okay. So let's look at the holdable object. We'll lock the inspector for the axe that's in his hand, add a new inspector right here, and then set the position. Whoops, right, we want the holdable object up there. This is the logging axe there. Okay, so we'll set this position to that, that, and that. Set the rotation is good. Actually, everything else is pretty good. That's not bad at all. Okay. So we'll unpause that. Yeah, it's okay. Not fantastic, but we don't need perfect. So then let's just take a look at fishing. Oh yeah, and fishing. Oh, I love it. Fishing works awesome because this is that bamboo fishing rod. We didn't have to replace that because it's a public domain fishing rod, and we've credited the author. So that's good. These ones, it's just going to be like bending down, I think. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay. And this one bending down as well. And then mining. Yeah, we need to do the pickaxe for mining. So, whoa, that was really quick. Mining, we actually want to do the double chop. So let's just save the game so we're just in this level right here. And then we'll save these prefabs here. And then let's see, the mining is the double wood chop animation. So example mining, and this animation, if we look at it, is 4.167 seconds long. So what we want to do is go back to the mining ability here and set the cast time to 4.17 seconds, close enough. And then we'll do that animation, hopefully. I mean, it'll last long enough I can actually pause the game and adjust the prefab. So let's start the game. We'll go to play, load game, load these up right here. And let's see. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So if I go in and I look at the scene and I look for now the pickaxe and hit F to focus on it. And let's see. So we're going to need to adjust that a little bit as well. I guess this isn't the most fantastic animation because he's not bending over all the way. He's never actually going to hit the thing with the pickaxe. But what can we do about that? Maybe we can bend the axe forward a little bit. So let's take the axe and move it that way, that way. Maybe back a little bit and a little bit more this way. And see, I sort of want to rotate it forward like that. Maybe so it at least looks like he's at least trying to hit the thing. But I don't know if that's going to look okay or not. Let's see. Okay, we need to move that back a little bit, like more into his hand. Oh, no. His hand's like over there. And I think we actually need to rotate it like this way a little bit. And then maybe move it back a little more. Okay. That's a little better, I think. Yeah, you know what? I can live with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. So let's lock that inspector, go into the other inspector, look at the holdable object for, where did it go here? Yeah, there we go. Okay, holdable object, example mining pickaxe. Oh, right. I have to let it go a frame. Yeah, so those get updated. Okay, that's better. So Euler angle X, we're going to have that physical rotation. Euler angle Y, physical rotation. Euler angle Z, physical rotation. And then set the position. Okay. And that's good. So let's just hop out of the game, file save, and jump back in. And let's load that up. And try again. Oh yeah, oh that's way better. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'm totally happy with that. Good. So that gets basically all of our gathering holdables done. So now we have our axe, we can chop wood. Yeah, they're not perfect, but it's okay. These animations, the hands on them are a little messed up. So another thing I wanted to do is these pigs over here. We actually had the little piglets. So let's save the game and go take a look at those. because the piglets were also public domain, so we're actually able to do those. So I believe this is in the items, interactables, item pickups, example item pickup node. Spawn prefab is AnyRPG little piglet. Let's open this up, and we have AnyRPG little piglet in there. Let's just look at it and confirm that that's actually a little piglet. It's a little piglet, yep. So why do the nodes in our scene use squares? Let's go figure that out. Example default scene. Let's see, alpha interactables. Oh, example pig pickup node. Where's that? Example pig pickup node. Huh. That should be an item pickup. Okay. That explains why. If we open example pig pickup node, it's not a piglet. So piglet, AnyRPG little piglet. And then let's just save that, and then go back to our example load game manager. We can start a new game. Load the game manager. Okay, cool. We've got little piglets now. Awesome. So that's really awesome. This is why I love public domain stuff so much, because all I had to do was look at the license and I can include this stuff in my game. If we go over to the fishing node, same deal. I have like a nice prefab there. Nice little fishing rod. But otherwise, I've got these funny looking white things here. Good enough. Gets the idea across. Okay, good. I'm happy with that. So let's see, what else do we need to do? We need to test weapons. So I guess we need to start equipping weapons. See if I can find them. Staff, cool. Initiate staff. Okay. So we'll need to make some adjustments to that. So example initiates staff. Hit F to focus on it, and we'll want to move that up a little bit. Have that hanging like sort of off his back, more like that. A little bit closer. Yeah, there we go. Maybe a little more. Yeah, you know what, actually, that's good. I think I'm good with that. So let's unpause that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright. And then, I'm just going to add AnyRPG gray material there. Because you know what? Actually, it's a staff. So let's make it brown. Looks kind of almost yellow, but okay. And now we have the right position and coordinates. So we're going to lock that inspector window. We're going to go over to the holdable object for the initiate staff, and we're going to set the sheathed physical rotation to these Euler values here. we are going to set the position, sheathed physical position, to these values up here. And then let's see. We don't have a combat animation to hold this in the hand, so we need to go into the combat zone and get in combat. Okay. And we need to basically, okay, look at where he's holding the thing. No, I need the staff. Hit F to focus. Okay. Wow, that's not bad actually. Mostly I just need to sort of move it upwards. Once again, this doesn't need to be perfect because the hand grip on this guy isn't perfect anyway. So let's see, if I was holding this staff, maybe I'd want it like a little bit down. Like about there. Okay. So let's lock that inspector and then go back to the holdable object for the staff. Click on that. And this is the regular physical position. And the regular Euler angles, which is the regular physical rotation. Okay. And that should be just a second. Do I have those values right? Yes, I think I do. Okay. It's like the worst animation. Okay. Anyway, all right, let's save that and then see if, because we have to actually reload to see the results of that. The other thing I need to do actually is all of our items here are using this chopping wood 2-hit. And what we actually need to do here is make a new animation, and we have to call it AnyRPG Example 2H overhead chop 2-hit. And the reason we need to make another one is because the animation doesn't have a hit event. And we don't want to add a hit event to this one, but we need a hit event on this one so that we can track when we're supposed to do damage. Boom, right there. So click on that, add a hit event, hit apply, and a second hit event right there. And add that, call it hit, and choose apply. Okay. So this animation is the one that we'll use for all of our attacks. So now what we want to do basically is in example quick slash, we want that to use the overhead chop 2 hit instead. In example double slash, overhead chop 2 hit. In example overhead slam, overhead chop 2 hit. And we don't actually use that for the mace, but in our animation profiles we also have that as the default attack for pretty much everything. So we just need to swap those out as well, because this is like our auto attack animation. So wait a minute. Oh, there, example 2-handed sword. Right, and swap that out, and then in the staff, same thing. Just swap that out, and then unarmed, of course, is not going to have that because we actually have punches and kicks and stuff. So that's better. Go File, save that, and then now we should be able to actually do damage with our auto attacks. So let's jump into the game here. And we'll just make sure that now when we hit the guy with our staff, we actually do some damage to him. So load game. And let's go jump into our combat level here. And I'm just going to save it in here because we're done with the crafting and gathering prefabs for now. Let's equip our example initiate staff. It goes in the right spot on our back. Let's jump into combat and let's try attacking him. Good, and the staff's pretty much going where we want. I know it doesn't really look like much of a hit, but what can you do, right? That's the only animation we have that I could find that was public domain that even remotely resembled something I could attach a weapon to. So next up, let's see, I'm happy with that one. So what I want is this is the dragon blade. Yeah, okay. It must be because it's the big long one. Example dragon blade. Okay, so we need to change the sheathed position of the dragon blade. So let's go look at the dragon blade right there and go into the scene. Hit F to focus it. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Yeah, there. Okay, hold down Control, rotate like 90. Is that looking okay? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Hit W to move that and just drag it down like right there. Okay, and that's pretty good. We can move it maybe a little bit closer like that. And then let's see. Right, and you know what else I want to do? I want to change that to AnyRPG gray material. And maybe move it down like a little bit more, like about there. Okay, that's not bad. I'm okay with that, I think. So we need to let it go a frame so that we can grab the real Euler values off of it. And then we will lock the inspector and then go over, find the holdable object for that. This is the example dragon blade. We'll look at it in this inspector, and then we'll put this in our sheathed physical position. And then we will use these in our sheathed physical rotation. Okay, good. And then we want to take this thing out, put it in our hands, and go attack somebody. Okay, and then we can move it. So we'll look for the dragon blade, go back into the scene, hit F to focus it, and then we can go move it around so it actually makes sense where it is. So basically, just like pull it up like this. Actually, that's not bad. That's like pretty much almost exactly perfect. So move it inwards a little bit, and you know what? That's okay, I think. Yeah, I'm good with that. This is just a really rough thing anyway. We gotta let it go a frame just so it updates. So it updates the actual Euler values there. So let's go into the holdable object for that. Our example dragon blade. Good, we've got that inspector locked right there. So now we can go back to this, and then this will be the regular physical position and the regular physical rotation. And that should be good. So then next, let's see, what can we try? Rune Hammer, perfect. Okay, and okay, let's get a look at that. Go into the scene, look for the Rune Hammer, hit F to focus on it. And that's not bad, actually. It's pretty close to where it needs to be. So let's lock the inspector on that. We're going to pull it up to about here. We're going to rotate it like 90 degrees. Move it a little more that way. And I think that's pretty good, actually. Then we have to let it go one frame, Oh no, it reset already. No, I think I just started a new auto attack. I have to let it go a frame so I can actually see the Euler angles in my Euler update script. Okay, let's try that again. One more frame. Okay, good. Wow, those are really small angles there. Okay, so then we want to, basically this is locked yet, so we want to go into the example Rune Hammer holdable object, go to its inspector, and then this is its regular physical position. And then, I don't know if I can even do this. Can I do like regular physical rotation? I have no idea if I can save exponential values in these fields or not. So let's unpause that. Run away. Okay, this is pretty good. You know what? I'm going to be a little tiny bit picky right now, and for the sheathed position here, I'm going to lock the inspector again, go to the scene, hit F to focus on the Rune Hammer. I'm just, let's see, it's already on the correct rotation. It's basically almost exactly where it needs to be. I'm just going to move it up like that much. Unpause and go back in. Now we have the values we need. So example Rune Hammer, go into the inspector, and now these are our sheathed values. So sheathed physical position, and sheathed physical rotation. Okay, good. And then I need the rune sword. So somewhere in here, you know what? There's a bone staff. Wow, that bone staff is so huge. What happened there? Oh, I can't. Well, my bone staff is so big I can't run with it. Wow. I think my bone staff actually has like a collider on it or something like that. Let's go look at that, because that's kind of funny. If I open up the bone staff, I guess I can't open up and edit prefabs. Yeah, there we go. It's got a collider. Can I remove components from prefabs? Okay, good. Let's actually just hop out of the game right now and just save it, because we just made a bunch of changes to a bunch of different prefabs. I think what I need to do is actually open up my example axe, take the collider off of that, open up my example cube, remove the collider from that, open up my example pickaxe, because these colliders are going to mess with all sorts of stuff. I just want them to be like spell things, basically. The other thing I need to do actually is set that to a layer that's not going to bug me. I'm just going to set it to spell effects. And then I need to do the same thing for this. Spell effects, yes, change children. And then let's go into the bone shield, and same thing, just get rid of that collider. Go into the bone staff, remove the collider from the sphere there. And then go into the dragon blade, remove its collider, go to the cube, remove its collider, go to the initiate staff, remove its collider, go to the Rune Hammer, remove its colliders as well. Go to the Rune Sword, and we already removed it from there. Okay, good. So now just save everything and jump back into the game. Play, load game. Let's load it up. Alright, and let's go do some more combat testing. So we had initiate staff. Just go check that. Yeah, that's good. Example dragon blade. Let's just go check that. Yeah, looks okay. Yeah, looks not bad. We're doing damage to him. We're hitting him 110 every time. That's what we want. Okay, and this is just the bad animations, the fact that he's holding it through his head like that, because I don't have like an in-combat idle animation for this particular one. Good, now it looks like it's nice and high on him, and when he's holding it, it's looking a lot better there. Okay, awesome. So that gets the Rune Hammer. Now we have our bone staff, and at least we can run with it finally without getting knocked around. So that's good. Actually, this is a perfect chance to test this. So it looks like my bone staff is still too big from the holdable object. And actually, if I recall correctly, let's go and look at the existing bone staff holdable object, which is right here. Our scale is 0.25 on all directions. So basically what this means is that this example bone staff's holdable object, I actually have to take these values right here and multiply them by 0.25. So luckily I can actually do that like right in here. And then the weapon should be the correct size now. And we won't actually be able to test that until we reload. So for now, let's just grab the bone shield and equip it, and then we want to grab the rune sword and equip it. Okay, so we have a little couple of things to just go in and fix here. So let's look for the rune sword. We're going to go into the scene view here, hit F to focus, and let's see what we got to do here. We just got to move this down a little bit, it looks like. Other than that, it's like pretty much perfect. So that looks good. I don't think I really need to get like much pickier about that. That's pretty good. So give it 1 frame to update the Euler values, and then go back down into our holdable object for the rune sword. Jump into our other inspector window here. Where's my rune sword in this one? Example rune sword. We're just going to lock that again, and then go back into the rune sword over there, set the sheathed physical position to these values right here, X, Y, and Z, and then set the sheathed physical rotation to those values right there. And then for the bone shield, we want to do the same thing. So basically our bone shield needs to be sort of rotated here. So hold down Control, rotate this thing 90 degrees. And let's see, just gonna move it like, so it's kind of more like hanging off our back like that. And then let's just try running around, see how that looks. Yeah, that's good. I'm more than okay with that. So then we're gonna lock and unlock the inspector, get the bone shield values right here, then go over to our example bone shield, look at that in the other inspector, and then sheathed physical position is these values right here, and sheathed physical rotation is going to be these ones in the Euler box. Okay, and then, oh yeah, we can't save while we're in the game. Okay, right, and then now what we want to do is test our combat versions of this. So to let those guys respawn, we actually have to take all their loot here. And same thing here, let these guys respawn by taking all their loot, then start punching this guy. Okay, let's look at our scene and look back at those items. So go to the rune sword, hit F to focus, and let's see where it is in my hands here. Okay, so we need to move it up. And that's about it, actually. I think I'm okay with the position of it other than that. So we're going to lock the inspector now on the rune sword, go back, wait just a second, actually, you know what, we need another half frame. Yep, there. We need to know these Euler values. So then we can go to the holdable object for the example rune sword, look at it in this inspector, and this is the regular non-sheathed physical position, and the non-sheathed physical rotation weird. Okay, I feel like maybe maybe I already did the rune sword. Did I do the bone shield? Let's look at the bone shield. So the bone shield is over here. Let's lock and unlock that so we get that in our view. Go to the scene. It's not like too terrible. I've got a spell effect prefab on me here. Let's just turn, right. Unlock the inspector, turn off the green sphere, go back to the bone shield, lock the inspector, and let's actually just look at where it is in relation to the arm here. So we want it a little bit further out, like kind of off the forearm here, but honestly, like other than that, it's actually pretty okay, I'd say. Maybe, no, actually that's not bad. That's like pretty much perfect. So yeah, let it go another frame. Maybe a little further out. I think maybe the animation reset. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. So I'm okay with it being right there. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the bone shield, look at it in this inspector window, and this will be the regular physical position, not the sheathed physical position. Wow, 0, 0, 0, no kidding, on the regular physical rotation. Okay, good. So I think I'm okay with that. I'm just going to stop that right now. File save. Let's go jump back in the game. Go to play, load game. And let's try those out. So rune sword on my back, bone shield on my back. We're going to go attack this guy over here. Shield looks good, swords in our hand. Pretty good with that. Let's see, how's a bone staff looking? Ooh, nice. Bone staff is actually like in perfect position. It actually looks not bad when I'm running too. Oops, I killed him too. Oh, I'll only get one hit in. I turned him friendly. Right, because the bone staff has like an on-hit event. So let's just go take a look at the scene here. Look at the example bone staff. Hit F to focus. Just take a look at where it is right there. It's not bad, just maybe a little bit more up. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Yeah, okay, and hopefully I can pause that before I actually hit him. Because otherwise, like it might reset the animation. Okay, good. So that's good. We're just going to lock the inspector and click on the bone staff, bring it back in this inspector window, and just set this as the regular physical position and the regular physical rotation. Okay. And that's good. And I think that's everything. I think we have tested all of our prefabs now. Yeah, okay. What else do we need to do here? Right, this is the initiate staff. Let's put that in our bag and go at this guy unarmed. So these animations like aren't perfect, right? But even the death one, Let's see, can I find some enemies maybe that don't have friendly guys beating them up? Like this guy over here. Okay. So I noticed, for example, that like his walk animation's a little messed up. These animations are so slow, but they're working. I want to see if my player death works properly. Nice. Okay. And can I revive? Haha. Yeah, what happened there? Null reference exception. Handle revive. Okay, good. So we have an error. Let's fix it. AnyRPG Resurrection 2. Okay, so this is another one of those areas where we should just be putting that. I don't think it's anywhere else. Yeah, okay. So what we want to do is we want to make that an option in the System Configuration Manager, and I'm going to call that the revive, default revive animation. So we have default attack, default cast, default revive animation name, and we'll create a property for that and call it my default revive animation name. Then we need to actually go into the controller now. So let's see here. Where's the controller? It's up here in the animation controllers, and then what is our animation name? AnyRPG example get up. So we're going to go into our example game manager, AnyRPG example get up, apply that to the game manager prefab, and now we can go back into the code there, and if system configuration manager dot my instance does not equal null, and in this case we're going to do system configuration manager dot my instance dot my default revive animation name. Alright, good, and now that one is not hard coded either. So now we can close that down, and let's go to File, Save the Load Game Manager, and then let's jump back into the game and just go test and make sure that we can die and get revived properly. And so this guy's going to kick our butt. Boom. Alright, and now let's revive. Yeah! All right, cool. It works. So that's a funny revive animation, but you know what? We don't need anything more. Let's see, do we have a heal here? We'll cast Warming Ray. And then, let's see, Blessing of the Makers. Ocean's Embrace is a bad one. Let's do Nature's Embrace. Heal ourselves using the right casting animations. Nature's Embrace again. Lightning Tether AoE. Okay, try that again. Lightning Tether AoE. Okay, weird. It's, oh, right, it's going to his head. Okay, and Lightning Tether. Kind of mostly working. Life Tether AoE. Now we're starting to drain his health. That's good. Just a second. Lightning Tether. Yeah, okay, good. So the animations are working basically like that was the forward casting animation. Rock Skin. Lightning Shield. He should hit me. And there we go. Okay. So I zapped him with the lightning when he hit me, and now he's got the stat effect on him, which keeps on doing damage, so that's good. Lightning Destruction Aura. So now I should start shooting blue lasers out. Oh my god, that is so rad. I want to go shoot blue lasers at more people. Pow. Yeah. Oh yeah, blue laser beams all over the place. Okay, good. All right, let's do Fire Destruction Aura. Start shooting fireballs at people. Let's see, what's another fun one here? Blood Shield. Now I finally have a transparent shield around me. I'm just demolishing these guys. Water Geyser AoE. I think everything is working now. Wow, that's pretty good. Let's get rid of all these stat buffs here. And that's not bad. Let's see, the jump I think is a little weird still. Huh. It's weird. I can continue running while I'm jumping, apparently. Okay, so I have a little bit of work to do on the jump animation. You can see also that when he lands, like his feet sort of come up off the ground there. So let's see if we can fix up that jump animation. So if we go into the character animation controller and look at out of combat jump right here, and we have the unarmed jump, and I'm using example jump 2. So let's look at example jump 2. Okay, so in this picture of the animation, you can see the feet actually look okay. Let's see. So I wonder if I just need to like not bake the Y position into it. Let's check. We have the other unarmed jump right here. Oh, okay. So this unarmed jump animation doesn't have any of that other stuff encoded in it. We don't even have the ability for like the X, Z positions and stuff like that, which might have been why it was working a little better. Okay, so let's just jump back into the game now and see if he jumps better, basically. So play, load game, grab our example player there. I don't know. I think the takeoff might have looked a little better. The landing, not so much. So when I look at this landing, looks okay. So let's look at our AnyRPG example land 2, and maybe weird. Okay. Well, like we definitely want the body orientation into there. I wonder if I actually need the Y values. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe I just didn't have the Y values, and maybe they're necessary. Okay, so let's try that then. Let's jump back into the game. Play, load game. And let's see what he looks like when he jumps. Oh yeah, look at that. His feet now come on down and touch the ground, and I mean there's still like a little bit of floating, just a tiny little bit, but not like a horrendous amount. There's a little bit of slide at the end, but I think that's actually just Unity transitioning him into the position for the next animation. So why is he able to keep doing that? He shouldn't be able to. This falling animation. Okay, let's see. In the combat jump, my god, he jumps way higher. He's like, you know what it is? I think I need to take the Y value out of the combat jump. So let's just go look at that. If we go up to the base layer and look at in combat jump, we use a different one, the example jump, as opposed to the example jump 2. So if we go back to the example jump, let's take the Y out of that, because basically what's happening is it's adding the animation's Y value to his Y value, and we don't want it to do that. But in the land, we do want the Y value because we want his feet basically to remain on the ground. So let's try that out. And I think actually for fall as well, I don't know if we want Y value for fall or not. Well, we'll find out. I don't think actually that we want Y value for fall, because otherwise it's going to have his character, I think, maybe looking unnaturally high above the ground. So let's just go in and see if the jumps and lands in combat work properly now. So load that up. Alright, and go get in combat. And when I jump, yeah, I think that's okay. No, you know what? so this is the falling animation, and he's suddenly way high off the ground in the falling animation, and then kind of like back onto the ground. So in the falling animation here, maybe I like actually do need the Y value. And maybe it needs to be set at his feet. Huh. Oh, because this was the fall where he didn't loop his arms. Okay, I know it looks funny and it looks like he's bouncing off the ground, but let's go and try that because this is only going to happen in midair basically. So let's load that. Run. Get ourselves into combat by like pow, life tether AoE. Now there we're in combat. Okay, let's jump. Yeah, there we go. No, wait, he's still kind of. He does end up like shooting up a little bit at the end. I don't know if it's quite as pronounced as it was before. So, no, original's going to be way too high. Huh, center of mass. That's an interesting one. I mean, the other thing I can do is I can just do an offset for it, basically. Let's try that and see how that looks. So play, load game, jump back in. Zap everybody with a life tether AoE, get in combat, and then jump. Ooh. No, center of mass is too low. Okay. So go back in, look at the example fall. Definitely not center of mass. What if I just didn't bake it into the pose? I think I actually started with it not baked into the pose, and I think that was actually the problem. But let's try it again with nothing baked into the pose. I just want to see what that looks like again. Okay, so zap, life tether AoE, get in combat, jump. Yeah, there's still... So if we don't bake it into the pose, it's weird that it, like, bake into pose must mean that it actually moves us by that value. So I think maybe the best thing to do is just going to be to give it an offset that pretty much places him on the ground. Since it's not baked into the pose, I don't think it will be moving him. So let's try that. So load the game. And hit them all with a life tether AoE to get in combat. Then jump. So, wait, hold on. That was the... Okay, there we go. Now jump. He's still shooting up. And I I feel like he shouldn't be because, like, I guess maybe we do have to bake the y value into the pose. Okay, let's try that. Okay, run over, zap people, get in combat, jump. He's still shooting up. Weird. It's like there's nothing that I can do, it seems like, to prevent him from being shot up like that. Because even like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't get it. Oh well, whatever. I think I'm just gonna live with the fact that he's shooting up for now. I am definitely not an expert with these animations, and it's probably better than spending another hour like fumbling through them, I think. Let me just make sure that the animator, he's actually using that fall. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what we can do about that. It doesn't seem like no matter what we do, he always shoots up a little bit. So I think we're gonna call that good for now. And let's see, what else do we need to fix in here? I feel like everything's working now. I think maybe it's time to do another like export test here. So, right, I remember there was one other thing I wanted to check here. Basically, alpha needs a scripts directory, and we had like the original lightning tether, and the original lightning tether had a lightning tether channel which had this simple animation, lightning bolt animated prefab, which has this lightning bolt script on it. Yeah, actually, no, I think that's fine. Because this is the script that we don't own. This is the original lightning bolt script, so I think we replace that. Okay, let's, yeah, I guess maybe alpha doesn't need a scripts directory. Let's check those scene nodes. So, scenes, example load game manager, example default scene, example cutscene, example combat scene, control to multi-select. We now have 6 scenes. Right click on those, select dependencies. This part takes a little bit. More than a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we want to right click on that. We want to choose export package. We want to uncheck include dependencies because that just includes every C# script in the project. All right, let's look at this. We've got the huge mocap library, which is fine. We've got the pig model, which is totally fine because that's public domain. Interestingly enough, I don't see the bamboo fishing rod. Where exactly is that anyway? Bamboo fishing rod source. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure why it didn't find that, but it did find the pigs. You know, it must be because like the pig is part of a object that's in the scene, whereas the bamboo fishing rod is a dependency of one of those scriptable objects, which maybe technically are not in the scene. Okay, so like if I look at this, for example, example fishing pole, that's very clearly referring to the bamboo fishing rod. So maybe what I actually need to do maybe I need to actually right click the example folder itself and go select dependencies, because I should be getting the bamboo fishing rod in there. So let's see what happens there. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. I haven't tried this before. Okay, 1,418 objects. Let's right click on those and go export package and see what we come up with. So the huge mocap library, oh wow. Okay, the bamboo fishing rod, that's good, we expected that. The 3D pig model, we expected that. Something in here is still referring to the meat icon. Okay, we're gonna have to figure that out. But that's not bad. The only thing we have in there is the meat icon. So we expect that. We obviously expect the engine and the entire examples directory. Standard assets is fine, we expect that. And okay, so it looks like one thing still references the meat apparently. So what could that be? So let's go and look at no, what's it going to be? Let's see. If I look at my example pig pickup node, there's no references in there. So let's maybe it's in have the holdables? No, okay, maybe it's in one of these food items, like sample meat, sample fish, sample food. Okay. Maybe it's in one of the spells or the recipes. No, sample meat. Okay. Maybe it's in one of the base abilities. If I look at these, all we have is sample, 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 sample. Like if it was going to be anything, it would be cooking basically, but it's not. So do I have a cooking icon? I don't have a sample cooking icon. Okay. I feel like I want to make one of those. Like just that word cook. It's a 4-letter word. It would be awesome. So let's go to File. We want to open Recent. And no, we're just going to go File, Open. Let's find sample magic icon. Perfect. So we're going to zoom in on that. Select the text tool, highlight those, go cook, highlight them all, set size to 17, Control Alt Center, File, Export as AnyRPG icons, sample cook icon 64, export that, and that looks good. So then we can go down into our engine, go to the images icons folder, import new asset, and look at the icons, get the new sample cook icon, import it, go to sprite, 2D and UI, trilinear filtering, no compression, apply, and that's good. Now we can drop back down into our scriptable objects, and that was actually, yeah, the base ability, and it was example cooking. So I'm going to change that for the sample cook icon, and I'm going to change that for the sample cook icon as well. However, none of those were our meat icons. So let's look at channeled abilities. Eat cooked ham is sample food. Eat uncooked ham is also sample food. Okay. If we go select dependencies, like this never works. But somewhere in all of this stuff, no idea where, is a meat icon. Okay, you know what? Will this work? If I just go select dependencies of this resources scene, like I'm starting to get a little bit desperate here, so I think maybe I'll just look through like literally everything here. And just look for like the meat icon, maybe hanging out in one of the items where we just don't expect it. Basically looking for something that's not sample. What's that? Just Mystic Shoes, okay. Of course, it only helps if I actually look through these ones. Like, it's definitely going to be something to do with the food, because the only time that I've ever actually used that is with those silly pigs. So there's no way that like it's anything else. So I don't know where that reference is coming from. Oh, hey, what's this? No, example full of ham, still stat icon. Sample food. Sample food. Sample food. Okay. Where else here? Maybe skill? No, sample skill icon. I'm just going to change that to the sample cook icon anyway. And then file save. That just goes to example cooking, which also has that icon. Let's see, example edible ham. We don't have any icons for those, basically for any of our holdable objects. So where else could it be hiding here? Like, I really don't know. If you look through all of the items, none of these have anything other than sample images on them. Let's see, baby's got back bacon. No. Okay. Whoops. I'm going to do an enter and save that. and then return and save again. I don't know, I'm like suspecting this might be another one of those hidden reference things where you like remove stuff from the inspector and Unity just keeps a reference to it until you guess which item you have to save. So yeah, no idea. But somehow, apparently, something has a reference to it. If I look at the example item pickup node, there's nothing here. If I look at this AnyRPG little piglet, he doesn't have any references to the meat. So how do we have a reference that we can't find again? Well, I suppose the only thing to do is do the desperate thing again, and like last time I selected the entire example directory, so maybe this time I'll just select the Prefabs directory, and then I'll just keep on narrowing the search and narrowing the search and narrowing the search until maybe it actually shows me something. Because it's kind of ridiculous that I can click on that meat icon and go select dependencies and get literally like zero indication of what uses it, but that I can select any other directory. No, now, shoot, I've got a list of stuff. Okay, export package. Okay, so it didn't come from the prefabs directory. Okay, so it must have come from the resources directory, which is what I thought, but like we've checked all those resources like 100 times. Let's see, export package. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's definitely coming out of the resources directory. What do I think is the most likely? Well, it's meat. I don't know, maybe items, select dependencies for items. Okay, and if we go export package on these, we don't get the icons. Okay, so it's not an item. Fine, is it a quest? And if we go export package, nope, okay, it's not a quest. Is it a skill? Select dependencies. Export package. Nope, it's not a skill. Did I already do recipes? So I did item, quest, and skill. Okay, no, it's not a skill, recipe, item, or quest, or holdable object. There. You know what this was? I have removed this before. I know I've removed this before. This was one of those times, I think, when Unity crashed and I had forgotten to save the scriptable object. Yeah, because I know I went through and I blanked out like every single dialogue all at once. Okay, so now that we've saved that, and hopefully we've actually gonna have it saved for real this time, we can basically, let's see here. What we want to do is go to the engine and the example. We want to right click on those and go select dependencies. And hopefully now we get a complete dependency list. And this might take a little while. Okay, 1,783 objects. Now let's go export package. Uncheck include dependencies, and then okay, so okay. We're not supposed to be getting these. Okay, so somehow we still have references to all of those other animations from the other animation controller. So if I check in here, the audio stream's current, I'm just looking at YouTube right now. It says the audio stream's current bitrate 0 is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you use an audio bitrate of something. Well, clearly the audio bitrate is not 0, so I don't know what that was all about. Okay. So if we look, close up the bamboo fishing rod, close up the pig model. Wow, okay. So I guess in the engine folder somewhere, we still have a bunch of references to the old UI that we're not using. And we still have some references to that character controller. Let's just actually go into the engine because I thought I deleted the old. I deleted the old character animation controller, so it shouldn't even be possible. Well, let's look through the engine folder because clearly there's stuff in there that's referencing this other third-party content. Let's see. We only have the new controller. We deleted all other controllers that could possibly be pointing to that. If I look at my main mixer, I don't think there's anything in there that should be referencing the other thing. This is just Liberation Sands. Oh, hey, you know what? Look at that. We don't need these anymore. They're not in use. So let's remove those. And these are all images I created, so it's definitely not that. These are all images and materials that I created, so it's definitely not that. Might be one of these prefabs, maybe. If I look at the default player UMA unit, no, because basically, like, it would have to be an animation profile. That's what it is. Human unarmed attacks. And yeah, okay. All right, so this actually, I don't think really should be part of the engine. Yeah, so let's actually move that into the content directory. That's actually part of the alpha content, realistically. So we have resources, animation profile, and let's look at the example directory here, resources, animation profile. Yeah. So we're going to take the animation. Oh, look, we've actually already got one there. So actually, we're just going to take the unarmed directory and move it into alpha's animation profile. And then that's where all those references to the animations were coming from. So now we don't need an animation profile directory in there. Okay. So where else do we have references? I'm just going to make sure I don't have any prefabs in there. Sometimes I accidentally drag them in there, but there's nothing. So basically, that spell prefab, I think, actually came from, I'm not sure here, one of these. It's gonna be like the cast bar or something, possibly. So if we look at the cast bar here, and there it is, ability icon. Okay. So do we have a sample spell icon? Perfect. Okay, that's better. So that should get rid of the reference to the image of the spider. And then I guess let's right click on engine again and just go select dependencies and see what we come up with. I expect to see something in there that says more than 3 items are selected. I don't think that worked. Okay, let's I don't know what just happened there, but basically it didn't work. Let's try that again. Select dependencies. It's really weird. Every once in a while when you choose select dependencies, rather than Unity giving you a list over here on the inspector side that says like, 1500 dependencies or whatever, you just get like some random items over here and nothing over there. So we'll wait for that again. What the heck? It's doing it again. I should see a list over here in the inspector that says like 1500 items. What happens if I right click on this and I go export package? And if I uncheck include dependencies, well, okay. So basically it selected them, but for whatever reason it's not showing them in the inspector tab over there. I think maybe that's like some sort of bug or something, potentially. So we have a reference to this AnyRPG UI music sample. I don't know where that is exactly. So let's dig a little bit. Ah, there, the main menu. Okay, that will do it. So we need to remove this from the main menu, which makes me think I may want an example main menu at some point versus an engine main menu. But okay, that at least got rid of that. So where else do we have references? Like, I swear we went through all the highlight lines and stuff in there. And if I go to the used external content UI, Slim UI, and I go to this highlight fade here, and I choose select dependencies, and of course it's totally useless and doesn't show me the dependencies. Okay, so that's no help at all. But of course, like if we go into the engine and we right click and select dependencies, it's going to come up with the highlight fade. Because why would we bother to show people what the highlight fade depends on when we can make them guess and hunt around for hours, right? That would just make way too much sense. So waiting for this to show up. Still waiting. Okay, now right click on that, go export package, and let's see. Hopefully we at least got rid of the reference to the sound there. Nope, apparently we did not get rid of the reference to the sound. So basically we've got hidden references again. I don't know where they're coming from. Yeah, no, it's like pretty much impossible to tell where those references are coming from because of course if I right click on any of those files and ask it to show me the dependencies, it's not going to actually show them. So I have a feeling it's coming from the UI directory, and like we're just going to have to play that same game we did before where we just randomly choose select dependencies on things and then just keep on narrowing down the search until we find what's referencing them. So if I right click on these and go export package, yep, okay, so somewhere in all of these UI things is an image or multiple images. Hmm. Let's try that group of them. Okay, that group of images doesn't select that stuff, I don't think, right? If we go export package, okay, good. So it's not in that group of images, or I mean of prefabs. So let's check dependencies on the inventory. If we go export package, nope, not in there. Okay, so it's definitely in the window somewhere. You know what, have I opened up this yet? Confirm delete game panel, I think I have. Okay, let's just select all those, select dependencies. Oh, okay, it's in one of those. Button highlighted, button wide frame design 2. Okay. Let's check learn button here. So it's not in there. Let's open up the variant accept button. No, okay. Let's open up the navigation prefab. Okay, this is interesting. This looks like it might be something. Sound, video, key bindings, and return. I don't think I use this navigation prefab. I don't think it's actually in use anywhere. Because basically, okay, so let's see. When I go to the settings menu panel, right, sound, video, and key bindings, we have more buttons than that. So if I look at the main settings menu panel, yeah, there we go. Sound, video, key bindings, controls, and user interface. And that stuff over there is actually part of this navigation, which isn't a prefab. So I only have one menu with those things on it, which means that this is definitely not in use, and we can just delete it because there's no point in keeping references to extra stuff that we don't need. So let's now right click on that and go select dependencies on the window folder. And I just want to see if we still have any references to those items. Okay, we still have a few. We got rid of half of them. So I guess, yeah, process of elimination again. Select dependencies on that, export. Okay, nothing in the base directory there. So let's do the buttons folder. Right click on that, export package. Okay, so somewhere in the buttons folder it exists. We can narrow it down. Let's try selecting the dependencies there. Export package. It's not in there, so it's one of these buttons. Great. Yeah, that only leaves us with how many things here? Only 97 buttons to check. Okay. I don't know which one of these buttons is going to be the best one. I thought I already checked like every single button in this list before and already removed all the dependencies from them. You know what's going to be easier than checking 97 of them? There's this interesting search in software development called a binary search, where you literally just reduce your list size by 1/2 every time. And I think I'm going to do that. So I selected the top 44 of the buttons and it wasn't in there. So I'm going to select the bottom 53, select dependencies, right click export package, and it's in the bottom 53. Okay, so then we cut that list in half basically. So the exit button down at play buttons, select dependencies, right click on that, export package, uncheck that, it's not in there, so it's somewhere in that list of bottom ones. Right click that, select dependencies, we can see it right there. Okay, so which one of these buttons nope. Okay. Yeah, bottom 32 somewhere. So I guess let's keep cutting that list size in half. Select dependencies, not in those guys. Select dependencies in those guys. Okay. Which one that? Skill trainer unlearn button. We just did sleek keybind. Sound button variants and orange highlight button, so we know it's not that. System button variant is a general button variant. Wow, is a combat button variant, which is ours, so it's not that. Take all button variant. No, doesn't look like it. UI button variant. Okay, no, doesn't look like it because that's controls sound orange highlight. Unlearn button variant. Vendor button variant. Okay, video button variant. See, this makes absolutely no sense at all. Like, just none. So we have a video button variant, which references a missing component. If the component's missing, how exactly does it hold those references back, basically? But if I go select dependencies, there it is. All sorts of stuff that you totally can't see by going inside that button. So it's like, well, where is it getting those references from? Because if this is missing and I can't find whatever this is, then clearly it can't be holding any references, because something that doesn't exist can't hold references, right? At least that's what you think. So I have a video button variant. We probably don't use it. Let's just confirm that. The only place we would use a button called video button is like over here. But on our navigation, we've got a video button, totally not a prefab. So, okay. I guess my button that has a reference to things that don't exist can be deleted. And then maybe we won't get those weird dependencies anymore. I have no idea how Unity manages to keep dependencies in items that don't exist. It doesn't make sense at all. If an item doesn't exist, then it doesn't exist, and therefore it can't have a dependency, because by definition it's nothing. So right click on that, export package, uncheck include dependencies. Okay, that was a little more encouraging. UMA, we expect that. But I didn't see any more references to weird stuff. Okay. We need to do that again, but this time with the engine and example folders. Select dependencies. This one's going to take a little bit longer. Still waiting for that. Still waiting. Okay, good. Now, right click that, export package, uncheck this terribly named box that should be named include everything. Okay. Now let's take a look. We have bamboo fishing rod, awesome, public domain. Pig 3D model, also awesome, also public domain. Huge mocap library, also awesome, also public domain. UMA, also awesome, also public domain. So all used external content in here is public domain, totally rad. Then we have our engine. Our engine contains, once again, public domain animations, stuff that we made. Animation controller, we made it. Audio, our mixer, public domain fonts, all the images and UI icons that we created ourselves, all of our colors and textures and stuff we created ourselves, all of our prefabs which we created ourselves, all our scene nodes, okay, good, and all our scenes, all our scripts, and then the example stuff. Okay. Wow. Wow, I think we're finally ready. I think we're ready to actually export a Unity package. So let's do this again. go back to AnyRPG, click on Engine, click on Example, right-click, select Dependencies. Once again, we're going to have to wait more than a little while for this. But basically, all we should have to do after this is add the full engine and example directories. Right now we're going through and grabbing the dependencies. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to just include everything in the folder as well, though. I will confirm that in a minute. Okay, 1,742 objects, including 157 folders. So what we want to do is click on AnyRPG, hold down Control, click on Engine, click on Example. We want to move those over into here. We see that nothing happened because they're already in there. Okay, good. Still 1,742. So then we want to go to our Assets directory. We want to hold down Control and click on UMA. Now we see 1,743. Good. Now we want to right click on that and choose Export Package. Now we can finally uncheck Include Dependencies. Eventually, once this list loads. Which usually doesn't take this long. There, okay. Good. Uncheck Include Dependencies. Good. Still only Huge Mocap Library. Still only Bamboo Fishing Rod, Pig Model. Still only UMA. Good. Still Engine, still Example. Standard assets that we need. And basically the entire UMA folder. Wow. Awesome. Oh, okay. What piece of the UMA folder is like only half selected there? Okay, internal data store has the in editor folder not chosen. That's fine, there must be a good reason. I don't think we need it. Export this to, where do we save this? Is somewhere in our Unity, AnyRPG builds, releases, Alpha 6.0, artifacts, there. Okay. The last one, 415 megs. Let's replace that. Now, I actually expect this is going to be pretty big, just because UMA itself is like 400 megs, if you've ever downloaded the UMA package. So I'm interested to see how big this particular package is. I guess while we're waiting for that, I think, did we make some code changes this time? I think we did. Let's just go check our Git directory here. Unity projects, AnyRPG alpha. Okay, So basically, what did we do here again? We updated character animation stuff added to System Configuration Manager. Okay, so we will want to add all those and add replaceable default animation names. To System Configuration Manager. Okay, good. And that means we've got a nice small commit for that. And just waiting for the compressed package. Okay, we have a 460 megabyte package now. Right there. Awesome. So at this point, I think I'm actually ready to release the Unity package now. It has been an extremely long road. My God, if you look at the channel here and look at like the development playlist here, I think the very first time I mentioned Unity package is like right here, episode 13, and we are on like 33 or something right now, basically. So it's taken like almost 20 episodes to make a Unity package, but we're finally there. The light is finally at the end of the tunnel, and I think next time I'm going to go through and test this thing, but I'll make that into a separate episode. This one's been almost 3 hours now. So thanks for joining, and I will see you next time. Right, and of course, as always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, or leave a comment in the message. Leave a message in the comments letting me know if you like this content or if there's anything else that you'd like me to make videos about. Right, take care. See you next time.